Naiwasaningaw na niba katara vakapinipinakatay bula oya wasala vilawa ndo pataki yao maina dhiwa kina tini karona kaloko na singalebo ni moniti kina vakaromboka kako ni valatana no musuni sari na kaisa marianda ololoma leo ni vani ni nau omgori kede maina dhiwa kina tini karona kaloko na singalebo ni moniti kina vakaromboka ena Bula FM namba 2 ena sere kui na wai ni mala ili sama diri
Nimbula methango nimilote na isoro tambua nama kia umina rua kina ona na via kavi moniti kina vakaromboka rongo mena via sama kina viva ka marota kini ndreko malolo ena radio Fiji 1 na wongani via niano ngai nama kia kina.
Tonight, Citizens Constitutional Forum asked for non-custodial sentence for Director Reverend Aquila Yambaki. U.S. company shows interest in importing Fiji kava. And an Air Canada flight makes emergency landing at Nandi Airport. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and you're watching FBC News. The Minister for Housing and Local Government, Colonel Samuela Saumatua, has resigned. A statement from the Ministry of Information says he cited personal reasons for his resignation from the post he has held since 2009. Attorney General Aisaid Qayyum will assume the position on an acting basis until Colonel Saumatua's successor is appointed. Lawyers representing the Citizens Constitutional Forum and its director, Reverend Aquila Yambaki, argued in court today that their clients warrant neither custodial or non-custodial sentence. Australian Queen's Counsel Neil Williams made the submission while mitigating on behalf of the CCF and Yambaki in the Suva High Court today. Mika Longa covered the proceedings and filed this report.
The CCF and Reverend Yambaki have been found guilty of contempt of court for publishing an article, The Rule of Law Lost. Sydney-based Queen's Counsel Neil Williams argued that the statement published in a CCF quarterly newsletter was not sensational nor scandalous material that would undermine the integrity of the courts and the judiciary. However, State Counsel Ropati Green argued otherwise, saying that Yambaki's actions posed a risk and undermined the rule of law and integrity of the courts. The State Council has submitted that the conviction is a way of protecting the independence and integrity of the courts and judiciary and is also a deterrent to others. The state has asked for a deterrent sentence and a hefty fine against the CCF and Yambaki. It submitted for a fine of not less than $100,000, a bond of $100,000 for CCF, and for Yambaki to be of good behavior for 2 years and payment of court costs. The State Council further sought orders for CCF to publish in its next quarterly issue an apology on the first page. Presiding Judge, Justice William Kalanchini, will deliver a sentence on notice. The CCF and Reverend Yambaki have apologized to the court for the publication of the material. Their lawyers have asked the court to be mindful of free speech in its decision. Mikalonga, FBC News.
Answers are being sought about visits from the Social Welfare Department to Rosalind Ram, a woman who's lived in squalid conditions in her home in Nausori. Rosalind's story was first highlighted by FBC News last week after she was removed from her home by a group of concerned people. Api Salomidokar reports.
These pictures were sent to FBC News last week. Rubbish on the floor, unhygienic sanitary conditions and no clean water or electricity. Mani Ram says this wasn't deliberate neglect, he's just poor. He told us that social welfare officers visited the home regularly. Ram claims no one raised any concerns about the filthy state of the house.
Every month
I understand they need to increase the officers as taking his statement, knowing that they have been coming here every month. My question to them is, if they have been coming every month over here, then they should have seen the situation. The floor has been missing, the condition of Rosalind, the way she was kept. They should have informed at least the Poverty Council, or they could have referred this to the health department.
30-year-old Rosalind receives welfare assistance money from the state. Singh said the Social Welfare Department needs to clarify what assistance or advice was given to the family when they visited them.
I have no idea why they have not raised this matter.
Social Welfare Minister Dr. Chikulubeni says she isn't aware of the case and will comment later when she receives an explanation from her team. Apisalome Voka, FBC News.
Students with disabilities have the right to attend any school and shouldn't be turned away because of their condition. Education Minister Felipe Mbole says if certified by a doctor and teachers from special schools, students living with disabilities shouldn't be refused entry. Mbole says this policy is part of the Fiji National Council for Disabled Peoples Act and schools should abide by it.
The child who's come up to the normal school would have been taught in his special school, how to respond to the teaching of the teacher in the school. So there will be in cases where special attention would be given to them.
The minister says more and more disabled children in the country are now going to regular schools. Coming up, Sambeto farmer recovers after his crop is destroyed by landowners.
Nisambulo binaka oya wone kamanalangi oni nandorungo viao mena viwa kina rua na bisinga mena moniti kina bagarumbuka na Radio Fiji 1 ndoma ibiti bongani bianyano na makatalengana benga ona sasibiani na tinna kaloka na bembongi ni bukilulu kena bima mani walu na bembongi ni bakarowai mena mbuza ni walu ninge namaka.
Hope you're enjoying the music right now on Gold FM. Only the classic hits, especially if you're spending your time at home or around the office. I certainly hope you're taking it easy and enjoying the music coming your way. Well, I got a whole lot more to keep you moving and to keep you going right up until you reach knock-off time.
I'm Kara. Join me every weekday from 2 to 7 on The Ride, only on Gold FM.
Welcome back. You're watching FBC News. The Ministry for Sugar has warned landowners against taking the law into their own hands after a farmer in Sambeto Nandi discovered his 4-acre sugarcane farm ploughed down. Christopher Chand reports.
Noshad Khan has been a sugarcane farmer for most of his life. His lease was to expire on March 31st, but landowners moved in weeks before and ploughed down all his sugarcane. It's left him devastated.
Affecting not only me, my family as a whole, and it's really disheartening to see things like this is happening here. 2 months.
But he's fighting on. Having already planted new crops, Khan is in the process of getting a 30-year extension to his lease.
The government and the ministry and the Fiji Sugar Corporation is doing so much for the farmers to retrieve and to keep this sugarcane industry flowing to its maximum. But on the other hand, we have people who's trying to sort of destruct the whole structure over here and do these stupid kind of things here.
The Sambeto man has lodged a complaint with police and is seeking for compensation.
Some people prefer to just take the law into their own hands. When we are trying to, particularly government, when we are trying to improve the production overall.
Vaningi says the government is giving landowners more benefits, and incidents such as these aren't helping to move the industry forward. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
And Chris joins us now live from Nandi. Christopher, is this sort of thing a big problem in the cane belt?
Not a huge problem, Jackie, but Manasa Vaningi did tell us that there have been a few cases recently. What they're talking about now is getting together with the TLTB and educating landowners on how the processes work so that no other farms are destroyed, Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Christopher. Kava exports are likely to rake in more money with new buyers in the United States. As Apeli Tokuwasa reports, the U.S. will become our biggest market, with 18 tons likely to be shipped out every month.
An unnamed U.S. company is the latest to show interest in Fiji kava.
The pricing is different from the local one, and we hope that it will help farmers in getting better returns for their produce.
Fiji earns more than $7 million from annual Angona exports. With another 18 tons going out every month, farmers and middlemen are in for better days.
With the inclusion of a new market from overseas with a different, with better pricing, the demand is on the suppliers to lift up their production to meet that is the added demand that comes into the market.
The new buyers will be used to cover for pharmaceutical needs, while some will be sold for consumption.
The market is opening up again for pharmaceutical, and Fiji is so fortunate if that happens.
Waimbuta says the onus is now on the farmers in Fiji to meet the demand.
We only advise. The farmers has to do it. So this is something that the farmers needs to understand. We can develop certain forms of assistance, but it is the sustainability of the program that is most important. Farmers have a very important role in that area.
Fiji exports Angona to Australia, New Zealand and the UK, but exports to the US until now have been minimal. Epeli Tukuasa, FBC News.
An Air Canada flight made an emergency landing at Nandi International Airport yesterday. The Boeing 777-200 aircraft detected a fire risk 3 hours into its flight from Sydney to Vancouver and was diverted to Nandi. Airports Fiji Limited General Manager Lawrence Liu says the flight crew picked up a burning smell from one of the toilets and had to make a full emergency landing in Fiji. The 265 passengers and 18 crew were accommodated in various Nandi hotels. Their interrupted flight departs for Vancouver this evening. Commuters in the Western Division can look forward to a new mode of public transportation with $20 million to be poured into a railroad project. The Fiji Sugar Corporation proposes to use public service trains on its tram line, enabling easier transportation of people and cargo. Minister for Public Utilities Timothy Natuva says this could be a public-private partnership working to benefit not only road users but all Fijians. Natuva says Fijians not accessible to roads but live in the Cane Belt area will benefit. The train system is expected to begin by 2016. New South Wales entrant Jessica Moore is Miss Teen Australia 2013. Moore was crowned last night at the Pearl Resort in Pacific Harbour. Runner-up is Annalise McLaughlin, also of New South Wales. Moore says she had a good time and enjoyed every moment with the locals.
Even if I didn't win tonight, I would still go home with the biggest smile on my face because I've had that much fun, and I'd encourage any other girl out there who, is thinking of doing it, just don't hesitate at all. Don't doubt yourself because it's really what's inside that counts, and if you've got a determined spirit and you're motivated, you can go far.
The director of Miss Teen Australia 2013, Gavin Dooley, says Moore has a lot ahead of her. Dooley says Fiji was a fantastic location for Miss Teen Australia 2013.
She has a very busy schedule with fashion, with clothing, Canvas for Catwalk, the new naming rights sponsors.
The Fiji Broadcasting Corporation was a media partner in the Miss Teen Australia 2013 competition. That time again, finally, our World Cup Sevens team has been named. Jamie is here with all the details of who the final 12 are.
Thank you, Jackie. Well, there's a new man leading the national team to Russia. After the break, we'll have the latest on who's in and who's not. Also tonight, Fiji FA happy with refereeing standard at Fiji Fact. Stay with us.
How would you like to spend your morning? You could spend your morning like this. Or you could spend it like this.
Tune in to the Morning Ride every weekday morning from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. right here on Today FM, Today's Hit Music.
Oh, kayak bola-bola cuma tahu kau ngani tamam. Oh, gua nggak usah nih lah ngani tamam. Nimbula, ayo Mr. Ben.
Lapa?
Na magikiro manolo kinedero di mataka monisi kina fagarumbuka.
Na Bula FM, na 2 and selling.
Welcome back. You're watching FBC Sports. The Fiji Sevens team to the World Cup in Russia was announced today, and the coaching staff believe this is the best 12 players that can bring back Sevens glory to the country. Talin Daudakadaka has more.
It was one of those anticipated moments for sports lovers as the Fiji Sevens team to the World Cup was named today in Suva. Making a comeback into the team after injury, one player has been tasked with leadership heading into Moscow.
First of all, I want to thank a lot and thank the supporters and also the management and the coach who have been giving back the choice, who have been captaining and leading the team back in the World Cup. So I'm feel happy and I'm not surprised. I think that they trust me for doing this job.
The forward pack is filled with experience, size and speed. The backline will be ably led by vice-captain Vernique Ngoneva. Despite the quality of players in the side, the team is not going to take the risk of underestimating their opponents.
Tonga and Wales. So Wales is the champion of the World Cup in 2009. So they will going to retain. They want to retain that World Cup. So we are going in as what we were trying to achieve in this tournament, and that is trying to bring that cup.
Now the challenge lies on these 12 players to win back the Melrose Cup. Fiji is already in the history books for being the only team to win it twice. Can they win it a third time? Only time will tell. Talento Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, with the Fiji men chasing down a possible third World Cup Sevens rugby title win in Russia, our women will fight for their first. A strong outfit was also named today, and according to their coach, with everything they've endured so far, Fijiana will be one of the toughest teams to beat. Helena MacDonald reports.
The biggest task in Fiji women's rugby history lies with this latest Fijiana team to Moscow.
And the goal is to be in the top 8. That's our aim, because if we will do that, it will be a chance for us to go to the IRB series in October.
And for one of the 12 chosen, who was here from the start of Fiji's campaign a year ago, it's no wonder her emotions got the better of her today.
Thank the coaches and the management for putting that trust on me, for me to lead the girls, especially this is the first World Cup for us girls.
It's been a huge turnaround in selections this year, with open trials held, a squad trimmed down to evolve into one of the fittest teams in recent time.
Change, the difference with the team was going before and this one. Our preparation, our mentality and spiritually was on the air, and our fitness, which is the core of this team. We are taking two, and they believe themselves they can do the job of it.
Some even became crowd favourites during the Mara Sevens and will surely become one to look out for next week.
They see my hair, it looks like Colin Sau and playing at Rover. That's Colin Sau's position too. I'm happy that I'm Colin Sau, the woman Fijiana girl with now.
A week remains for final preparations before both teams leave our shores and hopefully return with 2 World Cups. Elena MacDonald, FBC Sports.
And in 15s rugby, coach Inoke Male believes the Flying Fijians' victory over the classic All Blacks last week will motivate the team to win their next 2 Pacific Nations Cup clashes against the USA and Tonga. The Flying Fijians take on the USA on Wednesday, then face Tonga 4 days later in Japan.
Yeah, playing in USA, it's a neutral ground, but it will be a good game for us because we're hoping getting a win against Classic will boost our morale against the team like Tonga and USA.
A strong team has been named by the coach to take on the USA. There is only one change in the backline that played the classic All Blacks. Leone Tamborua starts at second 5/8, which means Serma Mbai takes up the fly half role. In the forwards, Tuapati Talmai Tonga starts at hooker, while Apisai Naikatini will be at locks. Other than that, the team remains unchanged. The first round of the Vodafone Fiji Fact saw a number of cards flashed, including a record 6 reds and 35 yellows in 2 days. And while some have been pointing fingers at match officials, Fiji FA says there were no major wrong calls. Indra Singh with more.
Henry Uche arguing with the referee.
The match officials were under the spotlight during the opening round of the Vodafone Fiji Fact.
However, parent body Fiji Football says there were no major wrong calls made by their match officials.
The river players don't need to manhandle him, and that's where the referee's got to look at it too. They are manhandling the low talker players.
Over the 2 days, referees did their part, all with the assistants and the fourth. And I've got assessors in each game who has given the feedback. And according to the feedback which I have received, it is very positive, and they did very well throughout this tournament.
And with all the complaints, Kishore says there are areas which could be improved.
I'm very frank and I'm a very fair person, and whatever happens, if it is wrong, I have to say it is wrong, and if it is correct, I have to say it is correct. There were, as I've said, there were a few mistakes made. Remember, the tempo of the game, as it increases, the demand of the referee increases as well, and within that bounds, mistakes do happen.
According to him, the players and district officials also need to work on their discipline on the field.
This is something the team officials that need to look at it and instill discipline in players, because when we look at it, the major factor is indiscipline in the team.
Fiji FA has warned it will not tolerate any form of indiscipline on or off the pitch. With the tournament resuming on Friday, it will be interesting to see how much players have learnt last weekend. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
Well, let's hope discipline improves come this Friday. That's it from Sports Tonight. It's back to Jackie now for business.
People living in rural areas can expect innovative ways to save with Fiji's Green Bank. Bank South Pacific is spearheading a financial literacy program focusing on rural and maritime areas. Akasita Tale has more.
Bank South Pacific Country Manager Kevin McCarthy says they've heard the government's call for more financial inclusion for people in rural areas. Country Manager Kevin McCarthy says one of the problems is that people are reluctant to open bank accounts in the first place.
One of the criticisms sometimes from the rural areas is that their income is more sporadic, and so they hate to see a bank account which attracts a monthly fee and just see their balance go down until they can actually transact on the account. This account will have no monthly fees.
BSP is the only bank to offer SMS banking services and will be offering accounts which have no monthly fees to attract savings. However, higher interest rates aren't likely.
It's more coming to an understanding the financial literacy, being used to undertaking using those banking products, moving away from cash, and I think the pay-as-you-go where you don't have a monthly fee is a very good alternative for those who have a lower transactional activity.
Financial literacy programs, not just by BSP, reach out to farmers, traders and those in the informal sector to save money and invest, but just don't know how to go about it. Aksita Tale, FBC News.
The South Pacific Stock Exchange has recorded positive movements on the trading platform for the past 5 months. A total of 216 trades have been witnessed with 5.4 million shares. Shireen Lata reports.
South Pacific Stock Exchange Chief Executive Jinita Prasad says they've recorded a number of order flows and some big trades as well.
We've had about $175,000 worth of new orders, which sort of indicates the new interest that is coming into the market to buy or sell certain shares.
The total return index has also gone up by 0.6% compared to December last year.
For example, the takeover of Yasana Holdings by Fijian Holdings resulted in some big number of transactions being executed on the stock market. We've also had, in terms of returns, we've had apart from the market heavyweight, which is Amalgamated Telecom Holdings, that fell around 4.6% from beginning of this year, there have been a few good performances as well.
The next step for the SPSC is to have a centralized registry where all the data on how many shares a company has will be recorded. This will help the investor have a fair idea on how many shares they own. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
And our lovely weather girl joins us now. Jen, ready to kickstart our week with some good news?
Definitely, Jackie. I think everyone's looking forward to some great weather. It was fine throughout the country with the usual clouds in Suva and the north. Temperatures were at 28 for both Nandi and Savusavu. 30 degrees in Lambasa was the highest for the day. Tomorrow's weather looks pretty straightforward. Sunshine all the way from the Sugar City with just a touch of cloudiness in the capital. And for our mariners, do be mindful of the strong wind warning for northern Vanuatu. Looks like a little technical difficulty there, but for northern Vanuatu and northern Lao waters. Now for tonight's photo, this was brilliantly shot by Desmond Scott while traveling to the Nausori Highlands via Nandi. Thank you so much, Desmond. We appreciate the effort. And it's that simple, really. If you're out and about, why not capture all that natural Fijian beauty and send it to us? Well, another day, another photo. Until tomorrow, stay safe, stay camera happy, and stay smiling.
Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. And recapping the headlines, Colonel Samuela Saumathua has resigned as Minister for Housing, Local Government and Environment, citing personal reasons. U.S. company shows interest in importing Fiji kava, and Fiji Sevens team for the World Cup named this afternoon. Results from last week's opinion poll, we asked, should we have a national ID card? 78% voted in favor of the idea. This week, following the comments of the Prime Minister over the weekend, we ask, does Fiji football need new and young leadership? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember to send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. That's your Monday night news. Until tomorrow, good night.
I wake up in the morning, I prefer to go down to the gym, get a bit of physical work done. Also, later on in the day, I decide to go through for meditation. I do a bit of reading to find out what the latest songs are, a bit of research. And for me, it's all about the listeners.
Hey, what's up? I'm Rio, and this is the Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 o'clock to 7, only on Today FM. Today is hit music. What's up?
Bula, I'm DJ Toro. Join me every Monday to Thursday, 7 until midnight. The premium classics on Gold FM, only the classic hits.